I believe two things can be true. Uh, Trump declassified some documents, and I went and read them. The civil rights with Martin Luther King. Uh, he was a great man, but I'm not gonna talk about the stuff that was in the documents because he has a legacy to protect. But every man is just a man, and I'm gonna say that. So some of the stuff they was figuring out, and even Charleston White even brought this up, and in the documents prove it. Between Martin and Malcolm, it was two different men, but to each his own. How I feel about them removing Black history, I'm gonna ask you, what do you know about Black history before slavery? Because Black history, they always start you out with slavery and the civil rights. So when you believe you were descendants of slave, you would say, okay, we were slaves, so now I'm happy I got a car. But when you know your people owned the land before slavery, you're not gonna be happy with just a car. So removing it, if you want freedom, you gotta understand, I can go to Walmart and buy some groceries, or I can grow my own groceries. So when they remove Black history, guess what you gotta do? Now you gotta make history. You see what I'm saying? So I'm not for it. I'm not against it. I just hope our people recognize we don't got to keep letting them tell us when to celebrate, when not to celebrate. So when you look at the Department of Education, it's a man named David Rockefeller in 1901. He was so rich, the billionaires of Rockefeller, he bought the General Education Board and he induced what was going to be taught. And his statement is, I want a nation of workers, not thinkers. So when y'all say they still got to teach Christopher Columbus discovered America, and if I don't answer that, I get it wrong and I fail, but we know that's a lie. So what are they being taught? So we know the education system is failing us. Now I propose a question here. The Jews would never let the Germans teach their children because of what Hitler done to them. If a certain group or ethnic group done something to us, why are we so comfortable letting them teach our children?
Facts.
So I'm against it. But at the end of the day, I understand I have to live in the world that my people want to live in. So if y'all want to send y'all children to school and I don't, they're going to put truancy on me, y'all, because y'all agreeing to the system.
Yeah.
So I don't agree with the system, but I'm rebellious. But guess what we always say, Jadea, and I always tell you this, Black Mona Lisa, it starts at home. I teach my children outside of that. My children are in public school. So what I do, I either pay for private, I go to the best school district I can go to, and now my kids grew up in the neighborhood, so they not culturally castrated. But I'm really against it because I understand they ain't doing nothing but lying to us anyways. If Martin Luther King and Malcolm X the only thing you know in civil rights, you really don't know nothing about history anyways.
Yeah.
So I'm kind of against it, but I also understand who pays for the General Education Board. So with Trump coming by, even with Elon Musk just exposed where we sending all our taxpayers' dollars at. Trump, y'all might be mad at what he doing, but sometimes what's good for you may be bad for you, and what's bad for you may be good for you. If Trump takes everything away from you, it makes you say, okay, we got to do it on our own.
Yeah.
But that's what we need to do anyway. Who's a better teacher than who's a better teacher for your child but you? You know how to handle your child. You know what I'm saying? So you might send to
Trump
somebody
want
else.
people to grow up.
Yeah.
I'm